Hey food fans, welcome to Cooking Like a Pro with Chef Cal and me, Mrs. Chef, his wife Krista DiMercurio. We're dishing out culinary intuition, insights, and imagination to spice up your meals and make cooking more fun. On today's episode, my chef husband delves into the ins and outs of running an independent, family-owned restaurant with guests Charlew and Kathy Byerly from Charlew's Taphouse. Let's dig in. Today's episode was broadcast and recorded live on AM/FM radio.
Well, welcome to Cooking Like a Pro. We're going to be talking about restaurants and just why you might want to do it, why you might not, some of the different difficulties, some of the blessings. So I invited my friends Charlew and Kathy Byerly to kind of explain that side of it. Welcome to Charlew and to Kathy, and appreciate you both being here this evening.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
All right. You guys just do a tremendous job in anything Italian, and being Italian, what I appreciate is the quality of the product that you make.
Thank you.
You know, I mean, from everywhere, from salads to sandwiches to pastas. They got all kinds of things that are on there, and they've got all kinds of specials and stuff. So first off, maybe Kathy, if somebody is listening, they want to just kind of go pull you guys up online or on their phone or on their laptop. What do they go to? Is it just charlews.com?
Yeah, go to charlews.com. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can go there and get as much information as you want, and give them a call. They also do the takeout, and there's a better way of doing the takeout as opposed to the different companies that do that. I'll tell you, if you're going to do takeout, you're always better off going down and picking up your own order. It's going to save you in the long run. It's by far the best way to go. Those outfits are they charge a lot of money to drop your food off. So
yeah.
You know, but we can start off with this is really just, you know, what is Charlew's? When did it become Charlew's? Because I know it started off as a Mary's, and then maybe just bring us through the history, so to speak.
You want a short version?
Yes.
Okay. I started working at Mary's Pizza Shack as a pizza maker many years ago, and I grew up underneath, you know, Mary Fazio and Toto Albano and my mother Anna.
You're Mary's grandson.
Yep.
Yeah, the original Mary's grandson.
I'm the youngest grandson out of about seven.
All right, about seven.
Yeah.
Are you counting all of them? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's there's definitely 7 grandchildren. So, and I'm the youngest one out of all of them.
Yeah. And then, so she started this operation. Where and when? How long ago?
My grandmother started in Sonoma. It was Boys Hot Springs, a little suburb there, in 1959 by herself.
Oh,
and then,
wow.
Yeah, my mom had to stay at home for a little while, take care of some business, and my uncle went down there and helped her and thought she was nuts buying stuff at garage sales, pots and pans, and finally she got an oven and a stove. But she spent $750 in her first year. I think she did about $10,000 in sales.
Oh, wow.
And then in the 60s, she started getting bigger and bigger. And I was born in 64 and went to work for her because I was babysat down there, so I had to do, you know, Italian.
Yeah, I've had kids in the business. They start there. Yeah. Chopping parsley.
Oh, no. I wasn't allowed knives.
They wouldn't even, well, I don't even know if they had plastic knives back then.
No.
Because I use those to train my children, which are now close to 40, but I never had them when, you know, I used real knives when I was 9 years old.
Oh,
you know,
no. We did dishes and made pizza to-go boxes. We got 2 cents a piece for every box we made. My cousin Vince used to whoop me on it.
Yeah.
And we decided to move out of Sonoma and move up to Anderson. We opened up our first restaurant. It was Mary's Pizza Shack. Actually, our second restaurant, Mary's Pizza Shack. And then we ended up, that was about, 16 years we were Mary's Pizza Shack. And we decided to split off and go as Charlew's because the family was starting to go through partitioning, which is a long story I won't go into at all. But it ended up being, you know, we voted on the name. I didn't vote on Charlew's because nobody knows what the heck that means, but it's basically
well, people do. I mean, people do, but it is, you know.
It took a minute.
It took a long time.
It's not like you have golden arches or something that people see. But when did you become Charlew's, and about how long?
Couple years ago.
Yeah,
we were in the same location, Anderson. We let Reading go. We wanted to focus more on one store, and that we can more, higher quality.
And fewer employees.
Yeah.
I've been in the business where it's pretty, I mean, you know, getting, retention is such a big thing to find people that'll be loyal and that will work for you. And when you get them, you hold on to them.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can become a problem too because they think almost.
It was easy in Anderson. I have Jason, 17 or what? 14 years?
Yeah. 14 years.
14 years. He doesn't want to leave. I got Dylan, 8 years. I mean, it goes on and on and on. But the Reading store was a challenge, but we said, you know what? We're getting old. Let's go down to one.
Yeah.
And so we focused on Anderson, and Anderson's back to where it used to be. I'm getting a lot of the good old customers back, and
excellent.
And a lot of new customers every single night. I'm a table toucher.
Yeah.
Table tap.
It's always getting the word out, and the, you know, the high quality and level of food and service that you have in a shopping area that I don't know how much of it's vacant, but maybe half. I don't know.
Well,
just to take a guess, you know, the challenge is, well, now you don't have, you know, a movie theater. You know, well, that's
coming back.
That's a huge draw.
It's coming back.
That'd be great to see. That would be great to see if that is, you know, happening and when that happens. Because, you know, it's dinner and a movie, right? People go out to dinner and they want to go to a movie. And it doesn't have to be a movie. It can be great service. It can be sitting there watching someone toss pizza. It could be the wine service. It could be the food service.
We got a lot of business from that movie theater. And the thing was, not only did they have dinner there before the movies, they would come back after and have a glass of wine, maybe a beer or soda pop, and then they would order dessert.
Okay.
And then we would see them twice in one night, which was fabulous. So,
well, you know, and what this leads me into is that a family restaurant, and I wish I could convey this to folks in the strongest manner, that, you know, when you're a family restaurant, you are literally going against so many obstacles that some places aren't, because they're just large. They've got a big chain of them. Maybe they're purchase buying and, you know, in bulk and train loads and such. And the mom and pops that really support the industry. You know, 80% of the economy in the United States comes from small businesses.
Yeah. It's,
you know, and people need to see and support that. So
I agree. I agree 100% with that statement. Everything we do there is homemade, even the advertisement.
Yeah.
And we strive. I mean, our labor costs are higher, but our food costs are lower because we make everything. We're just one of those. We followed my grandmother's coattails rode her coattails for. Well, we're still riding her coattails.
Yeah. Well, I know that I absolutely love your pizza. I mean, there isn't anything there I don't really like, but if I'm comparing it, and I've judged enough pizza competitions, I'm not just saying this as some guy on the street here, but you guys really do a wonderful, wonderful job in the pizza area. They're always flipping the padoda back there and everything else. So
a lot of young guys.
Kathy, and so what's your favorite pizza?
Ooh. So I like the all-meat combo, the Charlew's.
Oh, that thing's
that one's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. And what was the one that you made the other day when I was down there? It was a roasted garlic, and
that one's pretty popular. It's on a high popular list.
Yeah. So again, an amazing variety of pizzas, but also you have that make your own section, so you can really do whatever you want. I mean, if you're gluten, you know, you have an allergy towards gluten. That's one thing that they do. What's the base on that gluten-free pizza?
What do you mean by the base? Cauliflower. That's definitely the crust. We don't make it there. We can't make it there because we have too much flour flying around. But we do order that from. Used to be Still Writing, and now it's a different company. I'm spacing it out. It's a very good one. Everybody.
It's amazing that they
commented on it.
The different things they make. Pizza base, the dough out of, you know.
We get a lot of, we started off with maybe 2 a week when we first started serving it. And then we went to quickly when the word got out, we went to 2 cases a week, and there's 24 per case.
Wow.
And that is like I said, one project we will not be able to take on to make it ourselves.
Yeah. Well, I think that as the business has changed and what people are looking for, and I think that what I hope to see is a revival, because things always seem to go in a circle, but a revival of home style restaurants. And it's just it's cool to see something from scratch when you know that the majority of other places are just pulling something out of the freezer. And there is a difference in that.
That's very, 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 very true. We just did an online course for 50 days, 5 days a week. And when we it's an inventory program for restaurants pros. And when he saw our list, he couldn't believe it. It took us 6 weeks to add all our product in there.
That's a lot of inventory. But that's what it takes if you're going to do it from scratch.
Yeah.
Now you guys got this new
beer wall.
But that is amazing. My wife loves it because she's not a beer drinker, and she can always find something on there to drink.
Ciders well, a lot of the guys are doing the cider too now, which surprised the heck out of me. Yeah. But we have 12 different taps. It's self-serve. Pour what you want. You get a little card like a hotel key card, and you slide it in there after you got to hand your credit card over because ABC rules. But anyway, so we got rotating beer. We have big beers, small beers, red beer.
If you're a beer aficionado or you like beer, you like trying things, the great thing about it is I can try, an ounce or two to find out whether I like it and have a glass or go on to another one.
Yeah, and you don't have to wait for someone to bring it to you.
Exactly.
Like what I like to say is get your own coffee. It's right there.
Yeah, I like that. that.
It's like my grandmother used to do. We followed her on that one. It was when she was really busy, she would tell the customers, hey, where the coffee pot's at. And so now it's like, where the beer wall's at.
There you go. And Kathy, how about other things that your business does and maybe even as simple as like hours of operation? How do they, you said that they go to charlews.com and they can get information on what? Do you guys do events? What do you?
Yeah, so we're open 7 days a week, Sunday through Thursday, 11 to 8:30, and then Friday and Saturdays, 11 to 9:30. We do happy hour 7 days a week. 3 to 6.
Are you this? Okay. And so you get the beer wall during happy hour?
Yep. Beer wall's 25% off happy hour.
And then what? You give them a deal on appetizers or something?
Yep. You get 2 meatballs for $7. You know how big our meatballs are.
I think it's hard. The meatballs are literally like close to a pound. I mean, if they're not a pound, they're really nice. They're a knife and fork. No one's going to get one of those in their mouth.
And our wings are $7. I mean, we have some really, really good deals.
Oh, you guys, your wings are great.
I know, I love our wings.
If you are a chicken wing person, you seriously need to go down and get their wings because the preparation and the way they do them allow them to put together a product that really comes out so much better than what I see out there. Because I'm a wing fan, and most of the time it's just something that you could almost have gotten, in a grocery store, behind the glass. Instead of just give me, these are like meaty and flavorful. And
we went through a time where you can only get the little ones, and man, boy, people were upset.
I was upset.
Yeah, I mean, I
I'm
got
not serving these.
So now we got the chunky ones.
So the chickens grew up.
They let them grow.
Then that's their legs grow. I always thought if you could cross a chicken and an octopus or something, so you could get all those extra legs off of there.
Yeah.
But there are enough chickens for that. And now catering, banquets, parties of every size. I mean,
we do weddings, we do catering, we do events. We're doing 2 weddings coming up this week.
Go ahead.
We actually are starting, hopefully next week, if I can get on it. Starting catering menu online, so people can go in there and they can, if they're in the office or whatever, they can. For 10 or more people, so you can order our trays online.
That's so nice for businesses these days because, when they're trying to cut everything down, okay, how can we, get, lunch down? Bringing lunch in is a great way of getting.
Plus the price point. That's got to be spoken about because I'll tell you right now, we just did one and I looked at the price point on it and I said, no, that's $10.95 a person. And there was a lot of food.
Yeah.
And I said, no, something's wrong.
Pasta.
I had everybody check it, and they go, nope,
French
that's
bread.
exactly what it is. And so we fed 40 people at in Anderson, and I kept looking at that going, man, something's wrong with something.
Yeah, exactly.
But it works out. $10 a head versus, for a nice fat lunch with leftovers.
Yeah.
People tore it up.
Yeah.
It's a good deal.
Well, I think that the thing that comes to mind for me is just the flexibility, and that's what we can do. And as an independent restaurant, you have that. Mm-hmm. When I work for places, I know, for a couple of years for like Black Bear Diner, they had to go by, there was, a specification, a policy, and a modification for like everything. Yep. There was no room for a pancake to be a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, and it had to be right. And even you don't think about it, but one of just the simple things that I changed is like you could go to one Black Bear Diner and they were doing a chocolate milkshake with chocolate ice cream and then and milk. And in another place that I traveled to, they were doing it with vanilla ice cream, chocolate syrup, and milk. Mm-hmm. Well, that makes two totally different products. Mm-hmm. And when you have a chain, you go one place, the people who own the chain want to make sure it tastes the same when they go another place. So that was quite a challenge. In fact, that was when they went to trans fat dough, and I had to redo California went trans fat. Yep. And they went trans fat free, which meant that if you have a corporation and there are stores outside the state, then they all have to offer the same thing. Yeah. And that's one of the real problems that we have.
Well, price of just fryer oil. It went from $22 for 35 pounds to $45.
Yeah, and people don't think about that. They'll look in the store and say, "Oh, there's some chicken wings." That doesn't cost that much.
It's just like bacon. I was $4.27 a pound for bacon, and now I'm at $7. Yeah. Is what they charge me. And I'm thinking to myself, I even called Nevada. Yeah.
And when you're buying, and you're literally buying, and remember in a restaurant, folks, it's not like you're buying a half a pound. No. You're buying tons of this stuff. And so these pennies make a difference. And when you start talking dollars, and then that's when you start seeing menu prices jump. But you know what I've noticed is your menu prices are very reasonable. Matter of fact, when I looked at them, they're less than any place else that I see, and I don't go out a whole lot of places.
Well, we don't just put a price on the menu. We do our research. Since everybody's menu's online, I go through each one. And I go through each one and I look at them and I say, well, I got to be around that area to be competitive. I want people coming through the door still. Yeah. So
you want them to have. The value has to be there, right? They got to say, "Oh yeah, okay, that was worth that." Yeah. This day and age, it's kind of difficult to go out when you could go to fast food. And somebody was telling me at church the other day, it was like, he took his 2 grandkids out, and it was just a pastor and his 2 grandkids. It was $40 to go to McDonald's. Yeah. And and I don't even know how much of that stuff even falls in the food category. Probably not much. I think most of it falls in the cardboard category.
It's not homemade. Yeah. It's definitely not homemade.
So we're going to take a break here at the bottom of the hour for a couple quick commercials, and then we'll be right back, Cooking Like a Pro, here with Chef Cal and Charlew and Kathy from Charlew's Restaurant down in Anderson. Welcome back to Cooking Like a Pro. Again, this is Chef Cal here with Charlew and Kathy Byerly, owners of Charlew's Pizza, Pasta. But you guys have steak, you guys got chicken breast, and you've got, a variety of things that are more, maybe fashionable for even of a finer dining style situation, with your sauteed items.
Yeah, we do. We have a lot of pastas. We have a lot of chicken. Chickens are like our number 3 mover in the whole restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Chicken parm.
Chicken parm is one of the best. We have salmon now. Salmon's cooked to perfection by Zach. Mm-hmm. He's an obsessive compulsive.
It's a good cook.
Those are good. Yeah, those are good people. You give them a good job, and they work just on that. Yeah. And then also I know you have family specials. So if you want to get on your text list or your email list, do they do that by going to the website and signing up?
Yeah, they can do our loyalty program.
Okay.
Once they get signed up to that.
What's the loyalty program?
So the loyalty program, the first time you sign into it, you automatically get $5 off the next time you come in.
Oh, very good.
And so a lot of people get that. It's pretty cool. And once you're on that, then I can send you all the specials going on.
Yeah, I get your specials that are going on. And then you have a family.
A family meal deal right now.
Yeah, family meal deal. So you got a family out there, and what's that consist of?
So it's our spaghetti with 2 large meatballs on it. And then you can choose from our house salad or Caesar salad, large.
Well, you're getting, I'm sorry, don't mean to interrupt here, folks, but if you haven't had their house salad, you need it. I copied it. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the highest, compliments a chef can give is copying someone else's stuff. And I did it when I was in independent living, and they just loved it. It's got egg and salami, and
carrots,
it's got what's the tomatoes?
The nappy.
Yeah, the nappy on there. I mean, it's literally, it's like a mini chef salad,
so
like
great.
a mini Italian chef salad.
Yep.
So I highly recommend that one. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I thought that salad mouth started watering. So for a family deal. You said they get the salad, they get the pasta, they get the meatballs.
And then they get a half loaf of garlic bread.
Half loaf of garlic bread?
For $29.95.
Okay. And is there a pizza involved?
Not on that one.
Okay. I thought you had a different one.
We did have that one before.
Is it a different one with the pizza?
This time we're just doing pasta.
And what would that normally feed?
This could feed up to 3 to 4, I'm
3 to 4,
sure.
3 to 4
because our meatballs are huge.
Yeah, the pasta, there's a lot of pasta in there.
Yeah.
I think it's a 24 ounce. I can't remember. It's a big plate, huge oval.
So you do specials periodically, and then because I get them, they pop up on my phone. They pop up in my email. It's just you need to get that information out. You need to keep things fresh. Why don't you tell me about your dessert that you showed me how to make the other day down there with your big machine?
Oh goodness gracious! So I like gelato. I've had a lot of gelato in my life. The best gelato I have was from Italy. I was there for about 30 days, and I ate it every single day. Well, years went by, and I started thinking back that time, and I go, I can make that stuff myself. So I got a machine. It's a very big machine. It does about 4 gallons at a time, but I only do a gallon. What is it, a liter? Yeah, everything's in metric. But I ended up starting off by scratch, and I thought I was killing it. And then I decided this ain't fun. So Kathy looked up something online, and we hooked up with a company in Italy that sends you the base of it, but we still add everything else into it. But we're using their base. It did get better because Mrs. Byerly had to go stick her nose into my recipe and say, we're going to fix this.
Well,
and she did it. She did an incredible. The other day she made 3 gelatos. I did the bases, and I put them in the walk-in box and come back the next morning, and she's whooping out three batches. And she goes, you got to try this. And I tried it, and I go, holy mackerel.
Yeah.
I could not believe, I could believe it because she does everything great. But.
Well, the thing about gelato is that it's so much, I like it so much better than ice cream because here pretty much all we get in the United States is ice cream.
Yeah.
And I went to Vivoli's in Venice. No, I'm sorry. That was in Florence, Italy. And up in Germany where we were competing, there was an Italian on every street corner selling gelato, so I just fell in love with it over there. Yeah. And you come back here, and it's just not the same. And for someone to understand it, you can actually sit there and grind, with a hand crank, and you can make ice cream. You have to have a machine that has so much horsepower that it can whip enough to get all that air in there. Yeah. So it doesn't come out like ice cream. It's just it's just velvet. And you generally have about how many flavors do you generally have available?
Right now I have 4. I have salted caramel, chocolate mint, vanilla, and wild cherry.
And we also have we have
a peach too.
The peach is I'm getting ready to make a different one.
Yeah.
And the other one is a Rocky Road. The most popular
Rocky
is the vanilla.
The vanilla.
And then that's an old-fashioned France vanilla bean. And then but the big one is the Rocky Road. The Rocky Road sells out like you wouldn't believe.
Fast, super fast.
Well, I think that being able to just, have something that is literally made, right there where you're at. This isn't something that people are buying. And obviously you can buy gelato from, large, manufacturers and have it, shipped and such. Yeah, but you're not going to get the quality. Yeah, exactly. Just like what you do with your pizza. I wanted to get back to that too. Also, pizza, and I notice when I'm doing pizza, there's something about the way it feels. When you're mixing it up and you can touch it and it's just got that softness and it's got that air in it and you don't have, any more of that stickiness and when you make a pizza from scratch, you can do that. You just pull something out, thaw it out, run it through a pizza press and then run it through a, you know.
Well, a lot of people have frozen dough. They bring in frozen dough, and then they let it proof. We've made dough. Well, my grandmother started dough in 1950. A little after 59. Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably 62 or 63, and she started making her own dough. She had her own recipe, and then we kept that same recipe. So we always use a mother dough and from the batch before and keep it straight, and we make it all ourselves. Probably equals to about 10 to 15 boxes every single day just to keep up. We have on stock. We have 30 boxes. And then every day you have to replenish that.
Yeah. Well, and for people that don't understand, a box is fresh made dough rolled up in rounds that would make like a dozen pizzas each.
Yeah. The smalls is 12, and the mediums is 8, and the large is 6.
So that's like when you think each, and then there's 30 of those. So you guys are knocking out a lot of pizzas, but you're knocking out a lot of high quality pizzas, and that's what makes the big difference. So if you're looking back at just to reminisce for a minute, back at your younger self going into this business, what are some of the things that if somebody was going into you were talking to somebody and they were 20 or so and they wanted to get in the restaurant business, would be your reaction to them and trying to explain about the business, because it's got some challenges.
These days it does. It gets tougher and tougher, regulations and all this stuff. But I would definitely tell them to go for it and work with me, get paid to see what it's really like. Yeah, it's like an
apprenticeship or a journeyman. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had quite a few people come to work with me. And in regards to being 20 years old, I feel like I'm 30 now, and I'm actually 60. Wow. So the restaurant keeps you young. You're moving all the time. You don't need exercise outside of the restaurant.
35.
I look 25. So, but I would tell a 20-year-old right now, show me your recipes, because that's going to be your biggest thing. People aren't going to come to your place if you're going to just unfreeze something and stick it in the microwave.
Yeah, I always gave my apprentices notebooks. I said, you write everything down, because I found out going through it, looking back, like, what was that? Oh, okay, I remember. So I had it all written down. But for me, I know that you really need to love, two things for it to really be something that you're going to get a lot of appreciation out of, and for your life wise. And I would say it comes down to you need to love food. You need to love working with food. You need to love, touching it and putting it on plates and making it pretty and and you need to love all that. And then the other side of that is you need to love people.
Yep.
And we talked about that. And because it's a very much people pleasing, industry.
Oh yeah.
And I think if those two things, if you had that for love for food, you can't just be the person that says, everyone comes over to your house and you make this particular dish that's really good, and they say, well, you should open a restaurant. That's probably why 6 out of every 10 restaurants close.
Yeah, my grandmother did that. Basically, when she was a lot younger, she was actually in her 40s, started thinking about opening a restaurant. She was a babysitter amongst 2 other jobs, waitress and something else. And she ended up having her friends going, Mary, you gotta open a restaurant. She was like, yeah, whatever. And then she decided at 48 years old to open a restaurant. And
I never knew that.
She
was
killed
48
it
when she started.
She was 48 years old.
But that's a work ethic. Those people just come from a different
the Italians, they love people and they love making food.
There you go. People and food. All right, we'll be back to talk a little bit more about people and food. And again, Cooking Like a Pro. Back in just a moment. Welcome back to Cooking Like a Pro. This is Chef Cal, and again with my special guests, Charlew and Kathy Byerly from Charlew's Restaurant. Just the best pizza you're going to find, folks. And again, we talk about that amazing house salad they do and variety of pastas. And that chicken, what's the one that you put the sun-dried tomatoes in?
The sandwich?
No, that's chicken fettuccine Alfredo.
Yes, that's sauteed.
Yeah,
that's nice.
We moved over to a nice roasted tomato.
Good.
But we still have the sun-dried. Sun-dried's a little tougher, got more chewy, which is great.
Yeah.
It's a complex taste. It adds something to it, texture.
Yep. And let's see. So some of the difficulties we talked about that. We don't want to spend too much time on employees because I think anyone that knows what's going on in the world probably knows the challenge that's started at COVID and has continued on about just people that don't want to work.
Yeah, it has gotten better. It's gotten way better. We're seeing a new generation coming up right now that is incredible. Incredible.
That's encouraging.
Yeah.
That's really encouraging.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't been in the hiring market for probably a year and a half, 2 years now. And back then it was, you set up 20 interviews and 2 people show up. And,
that's what we had.
Yeah, and and one of them you hire and they quit the first day. I mean, folks, it's really, I think again, you need to have what I call a servant's heart.
Yeah.
Right? Because you are a servant. Yeah. You need to be okay because this is your job. And the old adage that it's better to give than receive, that is true. I mean, you can literally work in a restaurant and there's just this excitement about being involved in other people's celebrations. I mean, think about you do a wedding and everyone's just, all dressed up and the food is great and this and that and it's an exciting thing. But anyway, so we've talked a little bit about cost and it's across the board. I mean, it'd be a little different if you could move your menu around a little bit and maybe say, okay, well, maybe we'll, sell, I don't know, half BLTs so they only have to pay for half as much bacon or something. I mean, you could at least have a chance to modify. But when it's a blanket straight across the grocery shelf, man, everything has just gone up, and it doesn't matter what it is.
It wasn't like that in the beginning. It was slow, and then, your major, your critical items went up little by little. Then all of a sudden, like you said, it blanketed out. And some of the things, it was weird because cheese went down. Our number one usage is cheese. Yeah. And that went down to $1.68 a pound, and now it's up to $2.80. We don't know why. Well, kind of know why, but I'm not going to go into it. Yeah. But things started ramping up. Now, what I'm seeing is a few items are falling back. Not very many. Probably 2% to 4% are falling back down.
Yeah, well, I think, it goes back to supply and demand, and if demand, or supply rather, keeps going on these industries, because you have to remember back when COVID hit, folks. I remember I couldn't get applesauce, and I was doing retirement, independent living, and applesauce is a pretty important thing, right? But they had the applesauce, but they didn't have the cans to put it in.
Like the pizza box.
Yeah, because everybody just went. When COVID hit, everything stopped.
Yep.
And they stopped making even the containers, and it took a while to come back. So I think I can see what you say, that as they start, increasing the supply, eventually once your supply gets overabundant, the cost has to come down, or they're going to start throwing stuff away.
Well, look at the shipping containers. I mean, those things, that scared the you-know-what out of me.
Yeah.
When they said that, I go, here we go again. Even though we don't get a lot of stuff from overseas, you're still going to be affected by it.
Yep.
And so that was a big one. I'm so glad they settled that, because that was freaking me out. We couldn't get pizza boxes. I was almost going to offer, during COVID, I was going to offer, bring in your own pizza box. I'll give you $1 off.
Bring in your own. Bring in your box.
Bring in something.
Bring in anything. Yeah.
Don't throw it away.
I don't care if it's a shirt box. Okay. I just think that again, I just really hope that this whole circle thing of coming back with mom and pop restaurants, and I was with somebody in the medical profession the other day for an appointment, and he said, "God, where do you go eat in this town?" I said, well, usually I go to the grocery store, and then I go home to my kitchen, because of price and stuff, but also from quality.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
The quality of foods when you come into something, and I'm not going to talk about. Well, let's put it this way. So let's just put a blank franchise out there. So it could be any franchise. Okay, any one of these restaurants that you see in this town that you also see in every other town. Folks, that food is mostly being made in a commissary. It's being made somewhere else in a large factory. It's manufactured, then it's distributed off. Like the soups, they come in a bag. You just drop it in the water, and then you got your potato cheddar or something like that. And that's how they do these things, because that's the only way that they can get consistency. Mm-hmm. Because doing these massive high volumes of 3, 4, 5, 600, 700 people a day. These places like, if you go to like an Olive Garden or something like that, where something is going to suffer in the making of that food and the production of it, and that whatever that is going to have an effect in the final flavor of that item.
Good example. We just had an individual who needed extra hours, went to work for another company. I won't name the name, obviously, but in town, and I says, "How's it going?" He goes, "Good." He goes, "I just wish I can create something like I do at your place." And I says, "Well, what do you mean?" He goes, "Well, I'm opening bags." I go, "So your job is a scissor man?" He goes, I call that scissor man.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and started laughing. He goes, "But you know what? It's kind of nice because I don't have to make 15 different items in one day. I just open the bag."
Yeah. So it doesn't cost nearly as much, right?
No, it's mass produced.
And I remember one time I was a sous chef down in Southern California, and I just wasn't getting enough money. I just got married. I just had my first child, and anyway, and so I took another job, and it was at a Marie Callender's. This happened to be the number one Marie Callender's in their chain down in Bakersfield. And I'll tell you, all you did was slam stuff out. The volume was just crazy. And the one thing that I noticed is that I couldn't find any seasonings because they don't want you to season anything.
Our spice line is 10 feet long, 2 shelves deep.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all just spice. I know it because I have to do inventory on it.
Yeah.
And it really, really stinks.
Yeah, well, when you take, you have, 150 different ingredients that are fresh and you're putting those together, that's when it really makes a difference. So, as we wind down here, again, we're talking with Charlew, and Kathy, from Charlew's Restaurant down in the factory outlet stores. Is that what that's called? Called the factory outlet store?
Gateway now?
Yeah.
Shasta Gateway?
Right in front of Walmart. Everyone knows where Walmart is. But anyway, they do lunch and dinner 7 days a week, all kinds of deals. Go online to charlews.com and get on their, what was the program you called it? The loyalty?
The loyalty program, yeah.
Loyalty program that they have all kinds of
deals.
great deals. So that's always a good thing. And again, we're always looking for a good place to eat. And remember, folks, let's support our mom and pops out there, and really make a concerted effort, because if not, you're not going to have any mom and pops, and that's just unfortunately the way that it goes.
Thank you so much for spending time with us. Until next time, we hope you'll be cooking up a storm in the kitchen. So we'll be with you again next week with food, flavor, and fun right here on Cooking Like a Pro podcast.